This is an old ass man versus a young ass man podcast. Well, first, welcome to the Road to Legacy podcast. We thank you guys for tuning in.
Yep.
This was an absolute blessing. Normally we would do a black fact, but we'll do our black fact after the recording. I got my kids kind of creeping in right now. So if you both can just let people know who you are.
I'm Brad.
I'm Tronda.
And this is our Road to Legacy. What I do is home health care, take care of kids with special needs. And it's definitely an honor, pleasure, and a blessing to be right here with you guys. I was waiting for my trainer to come, but he was a little late today. So he had me doing like all these crazy freaking workouts to get ready for the show because they fly me out to Seattle, Washington at the end of the month to go ahead and compete for the competition. So I'm insanely pumped and ready to get on out there, man. So I got to make you brothers proud, man. You know, I gotta represent.
When do you go? When do you go? When do you have to go out there? When do you got to go?
So I go like March 26th, I think. March 26th.
Wow, that's soon.
So it's like right around the corner. So like me, I've already gotten like most of my physical fitness regimens together because I've already been training really hard since before I got the call. But now I'm just training purely on obstacles. So I'm gonna make sure that I get all my obstacle training in so that I can be able to do one after another, which right now I'm really at the point where I could do 12 obstacles. I'm sorry, no, it's 6, 12. I could do 18 in a row without failing. So I just did 18 in a row with the warp wall over and over and over again without failing. So if I can get through 18 on the show, you only have to do 6 in a row. So right now I could do 18 in a row right now. Yeah, for qualifiers, you got to get through 6 obstacles at once. But then right now I'm training to do 18 in a row. So then the 6 obstacles will be a whole lot easier.
That's a lot, man. How did you get into trying out for Ninja Warrior?
Man, I've been watching that show for the past 15 years, man, since before it was even in America. Like they had a Japanese show called Sasuke.
Yep, I remember that.
So I watched the Japanese show and I watched Makoto Nagano, all the other folks who were on there. And I was like a big fan then. And so I was like, dang, man, it'd be dope if they had this in America. Then they brought it to America like about 10 years ago. And I was like, you know what? Now it's America. I could try it for the show, but I never did. And so this time I said, you know what? Go ahead, try it for the show this year. I was like, I'm gonna try, and I know for a fact I'm gonna make it. So yeah, so it was super last minute. So I had met up with Glenn, who actually owns the facility I'm training at right now. He built an entire 30,000 square foot gym by hand by himself with his girlfriend, and she's freaking she's only like 5'2", like 100 pounds, and he's 60 years old, and he's like 5'4", like 100 pounds. So these two little people over here built this whole entire 30,000 square foot gym by hand. And he hit me up after we did the grocery store giveaway at Kroger. He's like, hey, man, I like what you guys did for the community. It was cool, man, to see you guys shut down the grocery store. I want to holler at you. And he was talking to me about what he wanted to do with his ninja gym. I was like, man, you do Ninja Warrior? He was like, yeah. I was like, hey, man, I got to come out to your gym. He was like, okay, cool. So I came out to his gym like a week later. And then I had my wife, she was over here. She was shooting video footage of me doing obstacles. I could do every single obstacle on the first try. So I knocked all of them out, and she filmed me doing it. And he was like, well, you might as well try for the show. I was like, when is submissions? He was like, well, the deadline's tonight. I was like, really? I was like, shit. So I went home. I freaking put together all the footage that she filmed, and then I put the submission in, and it was due by 3 o'clock in the morning that night. I put it at 2:58 in the morning. Wow. 2 minutes to spare.
Wow. That's crazy.
Wow.
So I was just like, damn. So I made it like right on time. So either way, I was like, I know for a fact I'm gonna get on the show because I've been wanting to do it for so long. And I said the year that I apply, I'm gonna get on because that's how the law of attraction works. You always affirm what you want, and when you affirm it and you believe it and you let your energy flow through it, you will achieve it. And that's how I've always been with everything that I do in life. And that's why I'm like, shit, I know. And I got the call. I got the call at the Lamborghini rally. I was telling them the story. We were going 180. We were going 182 miles per hour with the helicopters flying over us, flying down 75. Because I don't know if I told y'all this, but when we did the Lambo rally, it was 162 Lamborghinis, right? They literally had air support. We had helicopters over us. We had freaking police officers, right? It was a 145-mile ride. We did that in 45 minutes.
Wow.
What?
All the Lamborghinis got to 214 miles an hour. The other Lamborghinis get to 204 miles an hour. Everybody was like hitting nitrous, everything. Me and my brother, we was going 185 in the Aventador, and all of a sudden and stuff, man, I got the call literally while we were racing 185 plus miles an hour. So I didn't even know my phone was vibrating. And then by the time we finished getting to the end, because we did 70 miles in 20 minutes. So every 70 miles, 20 minutes. That's how
Jesus
fast we was running.
Christ.
And so by the time we cut the whole entire center of Florida in half. So we went from the entire east coast of Florida to the entire west coast of Florida. And we did that in lightning speed. So as soon as we finished, I checked my phone. I was like, oh shit, I got a voice message. And it was for freaking Ninja Warrior. And I was like, bro.
I let that go to voicemail.
Bro, I had no clue because I couldn't even answer my phone because we was hauling ass and like I didn't even know it was vibrating. So I was like, what are the chances you get a freaking call to be on the show when you're in Lamborghini like with 150 other Lamborghinis blazing up the freaking center of Florida, going 180, 200 miles an hour through the center of Florida? I said, man, my life is just crazy. I got a crazy life right now.
So that's so interesting. Like that car club. What's the car club about, and how did that come about?
No, so this is official Lamborghinis. This is actually Lamborghini the company. So Lamborghini the company,
right.
Yeah, Lamborghini the company has official Corsa rally. So they call them a Corsa Turo rally. So the actual Lamborghini company sponsors doing rally events all over the United States and different countries all around the world. So this is like an official rally that you had to register for with Lamborghini, and then they like give you like all the stickers and decals and all that stuff. But they set everything up for everybody to be able to ride together and do all the different venues and put all the events together. So it's cool because then when it's officially Lamborghini, you already know. Like everything and stuff, man, is like 100% just pitch perfect.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. So just to let people know how I first found you on social media when you guys did that $100,000 giveaway in the supermarket where you paid for everybody's groceries and whatever it is that they wanted. That really caught my attention. And then when I looked you up a little bit more, I was like, yo, this brother is amazing. Like, and so I guess we'll start there, and we'll go back afterward, like getting your name, where you're from, and all that other stuff. What made you all come together and do something like that?
Oh, the main thing was just to be able to give back, man, because we've always been the type to give back to the community, like for years. And matter of fact, me and my wife, we've been doing it forever. Like we've been giving probably like 150,000, almost 200 grand every year without even putting it online. But that's just how we naturally are. So yeah, so this time, this time we filmed it because other people like, y'all need to actually show other people that people are doing this, because other people was like, you guys need to show when you're doing good for the community so other people can be inspired, and then at least show them that you do have like black entrepreneurs who are helping their community, because they never see it. Most people see people like, showing their money when it comes to buying expensive like jewelry or freaking clothes or like, designer wear or cars, whatever the case may be. And it's cool, you can show that, but you still got to show the other side where you are like looking out for the community, you are taking care of people, you are helping other people who are in need. And so we never had any videos displaying that. So we were like, okay, cool. And that's kind of the main premise between like showing like these particular gift backs, because we're like, okay, we're going to show up for that one. So at least give people like, the knowledge that we got entrepreneurs out here, man, that are willing to take care of the community and give back.
Where did that come from? Like, it's like I say a testimony. Like it really, really hit home and hit my heart. And we spoke that night. We spoke on the phone and we text, because I couldn't call you back over the phone, just because, like I mentioned to you, I had just lost my mom recently, and I could not stop crying after watching your wife's video. And it really, really touched a lot of things. And so I bring that up to kind of get back into that question I was asking, like, where did the drive come from to give back to people?
Well, I want to start off by saying, like, I appreciate the opportunity to be with y'all brothers anyway, because Donald's been trying to get up for a minute, and at the same time, I was like, dang, my schedule's been so freaking crazy that I was just like, man, let me get my boy Donald, man, because I need to let him know that, like, look, bro, I got you, I'm here for you. Like, I know this has been taking me forever to get online with you. So look, man, I appreciate the opportunity just to be with you brothers. And I love what you guys are doing and what you guys are putting together for the community. That's awesome in itself. And when it comes to like just us, like, when we were growing up, I guess, for Tronda, what you want to do?
Two different stories here.
Look, go ahead, let her go first, because because I know she's gonna be interjecting the whole time anyway. So let her. No, you go first. No, ladies first. Let her start it on.
Well, can I? Let me ask the question to both of y'all. I could see that both of you guys, because I watched some of your wife's stuff, and I watched your stuff, and I could see you guys come from two different ways of styles of living. Right. So like Donald was very, his heart was touched because he grew up in a group home and he was raised in a group home and he came out of the group home and had to find his way. Right. So the question is just really quickly, so we can get to you guys talking about it, is who inspired who to do the give back? Who inspired who to grow the way you are together? Which one of you guys inspired each other the most, or is it just equal?
Oh, it's definitely equal. We've been on the same page for a long time. I think like we have a certain type of ESP where like, hey, there's something that we want to do, and I will say something, she'll say something, and we'll look at each other and be like, yeah, let's do it. And it's literally no discussion. It's not like, okay, should we or should we not? Like we just look at each other and we say, hey, we want to do this, and we just do it. We come together. We're always on the same page when it comes to giving back, or if it comes to helping people. Like we've always been that way. Matter of fact, even when it was that situation where things weren't going well, and business was falling apart, and when I was going through my bankruptcies, when I was going through foreclosure, when I was going through not being able to afford McDonald's, we still gave to people then. Hell, if I had them $10 in my account, I'd still give it to you if I had it.
You almost got your car. You almost got your car revoked, right?
I'm gonna have my car repossessed in behind the dumpster. Yes, I was just like, man, they coming over here with the tow truck creeping around the corner.
And you hiding it. 2
o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I'm hiding it. I'm like, y'all ain't get it.
Right.
That's what happens when you have car payments. I didn't have a car payment. I had clash cars. Every car I had was like $1,000.
So you guys inspire each other. That's what it is.
Definitely. We're definitely inspirations for each other, for sure. So her whole entire background, where she came from, there's no way that I couldn't be inspired from everything that she's gone through in life, and to be the person that she is today is truly inspiring, because a lot of people wouldn't have made it out of the position that she came from. Like when you go through that homelessness, when you go through like those things, and then still have like a positive outlook on life, and still have that energy to say, look, I'm still going to make it. I'm still going to be successful. Like that right there was just like, incredible to me. So I was just like, hey, this right here, I was like,
what is the woman? He never judged me not one time. Out of everybody that was judging me, he did not judge me. Nope. Not one judge. He did not judge me at all. He looked into my spirit, and he loved me as a person. He let me be me. Like I've always been an affirmation or that kind of person. And I don't know, he's always saw my energy, saw my spirit. And he never judged me. He said, don't care what nobody else said. He saw me for me.
You care what nobody said. I'm like, that's my baby. You don't talk about my baby? That's my
baby. How did y'all meet? And how old were y'all when y'all met?
Hey man, I told her I was gonna take her out the block. Hey, she was walking the street. Trying to go to the club, right? And then me and my friends, we were all driving 3 black cars and stuff, thinking we were so cool. And we were riding down the street, and I saw her, I was like, ooh, I was like, she bad, boy. I'm like, I gotta go get that. So I slammed on the brakes, and I stopped, and I jumped out of the car, and I went to go talk to her. And I was like, man, so what's up? What's your name? What's going on? And, I was being all cool and suave, just being all nice and cool with it. And she was like, who's this little boy? This little spoiled-ass little kid. This spoiled-ass little kid trying to come holler at me. Because, she see 3 black cars all entourage, and then, we stop and trying to holler. Entouraging in the same car I'm behind a dumpster over here flexing, can't pay my damn note, So she over here like, okay, then I gave her my card, and it's funny because she called me up the next day, and I was like, what you doing calling me the next day? She was like, what do you mean? Why shouldn't I call you the next day? I was like, isn't there like a 3-day rule or something like that? You're supposed to wait 3 days before you call somebody? And we only had like a few conversations, and then we didn't talk for a whole entire year. So I deleted her phone number and everything. I didn't even have her contact anymore. I was like, this ain't going nowhere. It's a whole year. We're not talking. So I deleted her phone number. So then she called me like a year later, and I was literally at the mall hanging out with my cousin. I hadn't seen my cousin in years. And he came to the mall, he was hanging out with me, and then she called me. She's like, hey, Brad, you remember who this is? It's Tronda. I was like, oh, shit, this is Tronda. I was like, hell yeah, I remember who this is. And then she was like, you want to hang out? I was like, hell yeah. And I left my cousin there in the mall. I was like, bro, I ain't see you in like 4 years. You about to leave me at the mall? I was like, bro, I got to go. I was like, that's hard, bro. I got to go. And then to this day, he was like, damn, bro, like I can't say nothing because you married the person. The same person you left me at the mall at, you married her. So I like, it's cool. And then that was the journey. We kicked it off. And then we had never broke up since then. So we've been together going on about 14 years now.
Wow. Wow, that's
going on 14 years. Long time.
That's beautiful though. That's a beautiful story.
Yeah, no, that's a blessing. Tondra, how did you overcome all of the stuff that you went through? You know what I mean? Because I listened to your story, and you talked about when you were in your mother's arms and she got shot, and being homeless, and just being able to still exist and survive and show up every single day. Psychologically, that has to be very, very, very difficult.
You see how we doing this? We getting both of y'all now. We getting both of y'all.
I know.
We getting just go for you guys, but since your wife is there,
that question. I just want y'all to know what we doing here.
Hey, might as well. Let's go.
See, I wasn't ready. Honestly, it has more to do with just acceptance. I knew my situation was temporary. I always been that kid to ask questions. So in my head, I looked at it it's just what it is. It's my life. And I didn't look at it as bad. I didn't look at it as though it was anything. It wasn't bothering me that I was homeless. It didn't bother me that, I came from an abusive family. It didn't bother me. It never became my life. My past was never my present moments in my life. My present moments is the emotions that I'm sitting in right now. The joy and happiness, the knowing that I have the ability to be in happiness and enjoy as long as I want to be. I could have chose the route of being like, my mom this, my dad that, my stepfather's on cocaine, and all of that. I could have been there, but I accepted it for what it was and just lived it. I don't know. I just never been one of those people that ever pressed about my past.
It's interesting. When you went through those things, did you kind of push it to the back of your mind? Because I know when I go through trauma or issues, usually I push that to the back of my mind and continue to try to move forward.
Look at it like this. We'll use the Bible. Because the Bible for me is like a descriptive point of like, it's a way you can live your life to some degree. Some people will use Jesus as his situation. He died, he had tragedy, and he was reborn. We die, we have tragedy, we reborn. Whatever that is, we have tragedy, we die, we're reborn in that thought, whatever that is. Meaning like when he never once questioned the fact that, God, you left me over here to this and this and this. He never questioned that. He said, well, they know not what they do. They're doing what they're doing. These situations are happening to me in my life. He never was once mad at him. If God made us the same way he made Jesus Christ, then why are we sitting there humbling and being moaning and let these things come up? When you truly believe in who he is, you let that go. You let it go. You don't have to think about it anymore. You don't have to be sweating over it anymore. You don't have to be like, oh, this is my last dollar. Now, if you're thinking about that being your last dollar, you shouldn't give it away because now you attach something to that dollar. You know what I mean? Like if you're having tragedy, there's certain things that you're trying to get over. If you learn to just let it go completely without a thought, meaning like you truly trust in who God is, every moment or everything that has ever happened, like we use my son as another example. It took me 3 months to really understand that I had to accept him not being here. At the same time, I had to accept the fact that this is what God's plan was for him when he was born out of my womb. When every breath that he took, he knew how many hairs he had on his very head to the very last day of his very last breath. Mm-hmm. You know how many breaths he would have taken to the very last day of his very last breath. God knew that. And who am I to stand and be like, why? It ain't for me to ask that question. It's for me to accept it and be like, okay, well, God, I'm not mad at you. I'm not going to be mad at you. I don't have a reason to be mad at you. This is my life. But I know there's a reason why it's happening. I may not understand it. I might not completely agree with it, but it is what it is. And I trust you. So, do what you're going to do. Just accepting the fact that this is, whether good or bad, it is a part of what I live. It's my life. You vibe through. It's like sitting on the other side of that rainbow, on the other side of the wall. Because when I was going through it with my son, I was constantly asking God, how do I jump across that fence to get where I used to be? Out of this depression, out of this mode of sadness, how do I get back over there? And the only way I know how to get back over there was to trust in him and accept the fact that this is what it is. And let me move on. By my way. I had him in my
I told wifey, I was like, look, I was like, everything that was going on at the time, and I knew I could see exactly like where her energy was and like, how hard it hit her. I kept telling her, like, look, babe, like we're gonna make it through. And I was like, I need my baby back.
Kept telling me that's
I was like, yeah, regardless of the situation, I need my baby back.
Got him in my ear.
Because I could feel her changing into something that wasn't her. And I was like, regardless of everything that's going on and everything else, like I love you, I'm here for you, and I got your back regardless, no matter what. And I just need you to still be you. Like, don't let this change who you are as a person, because
it's not even talking about the other things that were going on. It's not just my death of my son. I had people on my head telling me a whole lot of things about me, about the person they think I am or thought I was.
Yeah, a lot of haters out there.
A bunch of them telling me
during the time when you're at the bottom, they're gonna try to push you down further.
At the lowest.
Yes.
At your lowest.
Yes. And that's even, and let me say this, that's even now. I mean, we just gave some food up in Harlem, and one of the guys who doesn't have anything that's been given back to the community, he has 700 kids that he's been pushing through the system. He says that there's a lot of haters on him. Donald's mother, who passed away, that was a community activist, haters. So you're right. And you just have to lean on God. You have to lean on God. And I want to know what church that I got to come through in Atlanta that y'all are going to be speaking at. I just need to know so I can come up in there and then just do my tongues. But that was beautiful. I just wanted to just go in. That was a beautiful, beautiful statement, and I love the way you presented that. And you guys are showing what Black family should be like. It's all families, but we're talking to Black people now, so it's a good thing.
And Gal, I have to ask this question too. How were you so non-judgmental when your wife was going through these things?
This is deep. We therapeutic today.
Because that, some people are really judgmental when someone deals with trauma, and it can be challenging to deal with someone who has so much trauma. Because I think about my wife and dealing with me from trauma that I have. And so, like, how did you, how are you
tell us, Brad,
judgmental towards your wife?
Tell us, Brad.
It's funny. I've never ever been a judgmental person, and I think a lot of it too comes from like when I was bullied a lot when I was younger. Because when you get bullied when you're a kid, like dunking you in toilets, push you down the ground, putting your headlocks, trying to start fights with you, doing all this craziness. Like I was called Blackford when I was growing up and stuff because I was so dark. Like it was all kinds of stuff. So and then they called me gay Blackford? And all this other crap, and I literally. Like I got bullied almost every day in middle school, right? But that was because people were judging me, and I was like, I will never be that type of person to judge somebody else, Like it,
even when everybody hated my ass, he still loved me.
Yeah, like no matter how many people try to hate or whatever the case may be, I was like, it's still not going to deter me from being me and being who I want to be and still live my life the way I want to. Like even with all the hate and all the people like, trying to bully and everything else, I was like, it doesn't matter because I still love who I am. Like I always cared about who I was as a person. And, I always had a good family too who loved me. Like my brother, like me and him were really close growing up and we were best friends. And I'm like, shit, I got my brother, I got my mom, I got my dad. I had like a really close family that loved and cared for me regardless. So when I was growing up, I was like, shoot, it doesn't matter what these little crazy folks say in school. I'm like, that shit don't bother me. When you see people judging people, especially from a young age, that's where it came from. For me, I'm like, I'm not going to be the type of person to judge anybody. It doesn't matter if it's family or anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. Like, I'm not going to be the person to judge anybody because that's not who I was. I never wanted to be that person because to me, I still thought that was bullying. I feel like judging somebody is bullying them.
Wow.
And that's kind of how it's like. Because I'm like, I'm not going to be a bully towards anybody else because I didn't like the fact that I was being bullied myself, or I didn't like, want to predicate my life on like being a bully by saying, oh, like, you're this way or that way. Like that, I can't tell somebody who they are. I can't impose my particular feelings and thoughts about who a person is when I don't know what their situation is. Like I'm from the outside looking in. I don't know that person like that to just sit here and make assumptions about who they are. Because some people can like look at somebody and say they're an asshole and then have a conversation with them after never meeting them. You know how people like watch something on TV, they're like, this guy seems like a dick because you watching him online on TV, or if you're watching him play a role like on Game of Thrones, you're like, damn man, like this freaking dude like is an asshole on the show. And you're like, well, hell, you meet the actor in real life, such a super nice guy. Yeah. Like, damn, he's so nice. He's such an asshole on TV. But, you might have, like, predisposed conceptions about somebody just watching them play a character. But that's not who they are. You know, so the thing is, like, once you actually get to know somebody who they are, then there's no reason to judge them beforehand because you don't have a chance to get to know them. And I know my baby, I know who she is, and so I mean, it's no point to judge her and say that she's a certain way because of certain factors that happen in her life. You really can't choose what happens to you in your life. Like you can't choose who passes away or like what family members you lose or like there's different decisions that happen during certain points in your life that might have been the best decision at the time. Some people will say, okay, I regret that and I want to go back and change it, but you can't change what's already happened because it's history now. Like you got to make sure you go forward into your future, and your future and stuff is predicated on your present, and your present and stuff is just the person who you want to be. A lot of things shape us to who we are today. Like there's a lot of things that have happened in my past that hell, if I was the person who I am now, I wouldn't have made them same decisions. But those decisions back then shaped me and molded me to who I am today. So there's a lot of things that we learn for as we keep continuing to grow, and as we live life, we just continue to learn, and those experiences shape us to become a better version of ourselves. And so, yeah, I just can't judge people. I can't. It's not in my.
So,
I can't do it.
It is a beautiful thing. Well, what I want to do is I just want to shift a little bit, Donald, just a little shift, because I want everyone to know what's going on here and why we're talking to you. One of the reasons we're talking to you because both of you guys have a successful business. Say I have a child who has a disability, and I don't have anybody to come over to the house and watch him because I got to go to work, or I got to go do this, or I got to go do that. And I'm worried about who's going to watch my kid that has, let's say, epilepsy or has polio or has any type of disability. So I pick up the phone, and who do I call? Do I call you guys? Do I call you, Brad?
Commercial.
That is a commercial.
Who do I call? What company should I call in Atlanta,
GHI,
Georgia?
baby, come to GHI.
In Atlanta, Georgia, right?
No, we got you. In Atlanta, Georgia. I mean, the thing is, like, there's a lot of different companies all over the United States. Like, for us, we're just based in Atlanta, but most definitely. I mean, if they're a child who's under 21, and really you can do any age group now, but primarily that's what we started off with for a long time is any child that was under 21, we'd be able to get a nurse in their home to be able to help them with all those particular medical needs. If it was bathing, grooming, transfers, any kind of assistance for someone who's wheelchair bound, getting dressed, brushing teeth, we would do all that in the home for them, and we would get a nurse aide and provide that on site so that they would have 6 to 8 hours a day of a medically trained professional in their home helping them with that particular assistance. So that's what we do, and hopefully we can usually get people between 30 to 40 hours a week of having that assistance there at the home.
How many employees do you have, and how many employees do you have, and how much money do you make off of doing this? I have to ask that question because that's what people want to know.
Yeah, so right now we got over 100 employees, and we got over 100 clients that we're working with, and right now we're about a $5 million company, and so we're bringing about $5 million of revenue. So we're just growing every single day. We just keep growing and growing and growing. So it's an incredible business.
I'm sorry. You came from hiding your car to making $5 million with a beautiful wife, and your wife has got business too. and it's just that easy. It just happens just like that, right? You didn't have to start in real estate or anything, did you?
Oh yeah. No, I did start in real estate though. I did start with that, and then the funny thing is, like when those houses went into bankruptcy and we're about to lose them, we had to figure out exactly what to do with those houses. So I had put them up on Craigslist to try to rent them out. And somebody sent me a message saying, you can turn these into personal care homes. I'm like, personal care homes? They're like, yeah, you can get $4,000 a month per person, and you can get up to 5 people in the home. That's $20,000 a month per home. I said, that makes a lot of sense. I like that idea. So then I started researching and getting all the information to figure out exactly what I need to do to be able to like turn my homes into personal care homes. And then after doing that, then we decided to pivot and go to a home healthcare where we actually could send nurses out to the person's home versus actually having people live at our personal care homes. Because it's different by having somebody live in your facilities versus sending somebody else out to subcontract them to go to people's homes that they actually live in. It is way better of a business model.
How difficult was that transition? And then did you guys start doing it only to create revenue, or was it deeper for you guys after you got into the business?
It was deeper afterwards, because in the beginning it was just like, okay, we definitely need to find something that's going to work and bring in income and generate income. And we still always.
You don't know we were living up your credit card.
Well, that was even before then. That was before I even had credit cards to live off of. that right there was a whole other situation.
No, but I mean, no, not that when we started doing this part of the business, we've been more successful with this part of the business in the last 4 years than we have been with prior. This part of our business is the biggest, boomed the most.
Yeah, so like we started off with assisted living, we did that for like about 6 years, I want to say. Yeah, about 6-7 years, and then after that, we started transitioning over to doing home health care, to sending staff out, and that one actually started declining because we had a lot of issues with the state. The state was actually trying to take out smaller providers, so they had like a mandate where they wanted all the bigger providers to make all the money, and they were phasing out all the smaller businesses. And so I was like, okay, y'all want to stay over here and phase out the smaller businesses, huh? I'm like, we're not about to let that happen. And so
they did. No, they
no, we still got a home.
We got one home record.
It don't matter. We still got one. And so, but when they started phasing out all the smaller providers, we were like, okay, we need to figure out what other business model we need to do that makes more sense. And then that's when we started getting all the information we need to do to do a home health care. And then once we learned about that, it took us about a year, some change to get approved for it. And then once we did, then we was good to go.
It was like we built a $1 million company with them.
Yeah, so we became $1 million company with that business in less than a year. And it's funny because when we talked to the director of services, they were like, yeah, you guys might only get like 1 or 2 clients, and that's all it's gonna be. And it's going to be a situation where it's going to be really tough and difficult to find people. I was like, y'all don't know us. You don't know Brad and Tronda. Y'all don't know us. So we went in there and killed it.
And let me tell you, I think it was during that time. It was during the time when the market, the housing market had gone down, right? Was it like in 2007, 2006?
So 2008 was when that bubble really popped and it hit us super hard. And then we were like, okay, all right, that's when we had to figure out what to do with the personal care. So that's when we were applying for it actually like around 2007, but didn't get approved until late 2009. So it took us like 2.5 years to get approved.
What are the requirements for you to have to do like a personal home care situation? And then how did y'all know that there was an actual demand to do something like that?
Well, there's always people who need assistance. Like no matter where you go, no matter where you live, there's always people who are at home who are either wheelchair bound or people who have need assistance with their ADLs, which is activities of daily living. And that's what I was talking about before. There's people who need the bathing, they need the grooming, they need somebody to feed them, they need the transfers to and from their wheelchair, and they need somebody to bathe them. Like all that stuff is like necessary. And there's a lot of people who have never had these services before. They have a family member do it. And so what we was actually talking to different hospitals, and we started learning from them that, okay, there's like a lot of people who've never actually had this service. And so we started trying to go out there and talk to families and let them know like what services were available with their insurance to be able to help, fund them being able to get aid into their home, because our service is completely free of charge for the people that we service, because we bill everything through Medicaid. So as long as they have Medicaid insurance, then we can actually go into their home and provide the service with no out-of-pocket cost to the family.
That's great. Like the people that you're helping,
crazy.
So would you consider them predominantly like lower income base folk, and is it only Black people, or is it anybody who has that benefit?
Majority of the kids have some form of Medicaid.
Yeah, like if like you said, if it's a child, they're going to get Medicaid anyway. And if the parent makes a lot of money, because we've gone into mansions and everything too, they'll get qualified for a Katie Beckett program, which is basically like a subsidiary of Medicaid that allows people who are pretty financially set to still not have to spend their hard-earned money on medical services, because with it being a medical necessity situation, they don't think that they should have to still pay the bill for something that they couldn't prohibit. If somebody was born with cerebral palsy, if somebody had TBI, traumatic brain injury, or if they had, quadriplegia or something like that, like they don't penalize the parents for that, no matter how much money they make. So that's a Georgia thing. It could vary from state to state, but
we're in New York. I'm sure it's much difficult out here to do anything, but I hear you.
Dealing with someone who has special needs, how difficult is that? Because it sounds very challenging to deal with. I had an uncle who passed away from COVID recently, but he was I didn't know what his exact diagnosis was, but he needed a full-term care person, which after my grandmother died was my aunt. And so how difficult is that to care for someone who has these mental challenges or difficulties?
Well, that's the thing. So we always hire on a case by case basis. So based off of the need of the individual, we hire a staff that's going to fit that particular family. So let's say if we have like a family member who is, they are wheelchair bound and they're really heavy, and we'd have to put somebody in there who's good at lifting and who would actually have the strength to be able to lift that person from the bathtub or to their wheelchair. Or let's say if we have somebody who has a G tube where they get fed through, a tube that's attached to them. Right, exactly. We have to pick somebody who is either trained in that, or we have to provide the training for them so that they can have the skill set to be able to take care of that particular client. So everything is kind of based on like the needs of the individual, and then we hire based off of what staff can fit those needs.
That's which is typically not the norm. A lot of agencies have staff already on, on call or whatever on their roster. Mm-hmm. We literally do not. We don't keep staff like that on our rosters. We, like you said, we have case by case. If a person just so happen to leave the case, we have to go back to hiring them again. Rehire, mm-hmm. hire. So we don't keep staff on board like that. But we're able to. We've been so good, mm-hmm. and knock on wood or how you want to do it, but we've been very fortunate to keep a lot of our staff. Some of our staff has been with us for 4 years, as long as we've been in business. And you know how hard that is to do when it comes to caregivers. Like you was asking a question about, how do you find the staff, or more or less, I know it's trying and it's hard. It's hard to do that, but we actually been able to find really good people. But it's also, I think, the way we treat people. That whole thing, the way we treat our staff, we treat them like family. Open door policy.
Yeah, we take care of our staff. Yeah. Look, we do birthday bonuses, we do holiday bonuses, like stuff that companies don't typically do. Like we do all that.
Pay for some honeymoons.
Pay for honeymoons, baby showers, baby events, to help purchase cars, and all that stuff. Hey, hopefully future staff members aren't watching this. They're like, oh, hey, let's go work for them. Let's go get that car real quick, get broke down.
At the very beginning, we've been givers the whole time. The more money we've been making, the more money we give out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's a blessing. Day. That's what you're supposed to do under the Lord, I guess.
When y'all got into this business, how much did y'all know about this kind of business when you first got into it?
Absolutely nothing. I knew nothing about this business.
Well, you sound like you know now. You got all the words, all the nomenclatures, you got everything.
Because we've been in it for 12 years now. Yeah. So, hey, after 12 years, you're going to learn today. You're going to learn after that amount of time.
You got the BTI and the XB-Do and the 246. I heard
you. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we know a whole lot now. So,
running back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, I mean, it's an incredible company, that's for sure. That's another reason why we started the program, to be able to teach people how to get into the business. So that's one of our main things now, is to be able to teach people how to build wealth in the home healthcare space. So for people who are interested in going into this field, we can show them how to do it without having any experience, without having any prior knowledge. Okay. And you could just go in there and just win, because we're going to be giving out all the sauce.
How would we begin? You're going to build another website on that, or how will we be able to contact you guys to get, to figure it out?
So we just finished putting together the course. Like, we just finished it. So it's going to drop within the next 2 weeks. Okay. And it's a full course that like people can actually go on there, learn everything they need to learn about home health care as far as what we do. And then it'll just give them all the explanations of what it is, what your role is, how to run the business, how to create the business, how to get clients, everything. And then after that, we have a consulting program that allow people to be able to, get approved for their applications with the state and to get their full license. And we can do that for people. So we have a whole entire separate package for that. Yeah, we're already doing it for a bunch of people right now. Like, they're like, hey, we want to do this now. We know y'all haven't dropped your course yet. We have, you haven't got your website up, but we got so many people right now that we're already doing applications for, because it takes about 8 to 10 months just to get approved. So a lot of folks are like, look, we just want to get in queue so we can get our applications processed. Right. And then by the time that the course drops, then we can learn the information about the course when it does drop, while we're waiting on the application to be finished.
Wow. That's great. That's great.
How much? Yeah, we've already built 4 other multi-million-dollar companies.
Wow.
And we did that before we even started this course. We did that just to help friends who were like trying to find something different. And we didn't know, like, we already knew they were going to be real successful. We didn't know that they'd all become multi-million-dollar companies so fast. But hell, we did it so fast. We told them, look, you do it this way, you'll be able to do it too. And so they all did it. And then we proved our concept. And so then we just decided, okay, now it's time to put it together in a program to be able to teach people how to do it. Because there's no reason why anybody can't be a multi-million-dollar company, be in this business. No reason at all.
No matter where you are.
Like, no reason. Like, for what we do, it only takes 25 clients if you're doing it on the low end to become a $1 million company. If you want to do it on the high end, it only takes 13 clients to become a multi-million-dollar company.
Like New York, it's going to be less.
Yeah, New York, you could probably do it with like six or seven people because they
get paid more.
Pay out way more. Mm-hmm.
Right,
So how much does it cost to start up the business?
If you weren't going through us, right? If you're just the average person just studying on your own, trying to figure it out. If you were in Georgia, it would cost you $1,050 as far as your application fee. Then it will cost you like another $100, of course, to get your EIN number to get incorporated with your Secretary of State, and then probably another $1,600 at most for your insurance, which would be your general liability and professional insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So all in, it would be like right under $3,000.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's good for everybody to know.
Yeah, no,
I'm gonna
that's
have to move to Atlanta. Hey, Donald, let's go, man. Let's go to Atlanta.
You're out.
We're gonna have to live in their basement for a couple of days, but we be all right. Hey,
Oh, see, y'all, hey, y'all like this basement.
Got a basketball court in that basement? Come on. You know, I might have to go to the supermarket for y'all. You just let me one of those Ferraris or something like that. But you know what, guys? I do have this question also before. I mean, we're running out of time, I think, Donald. Are we going?
No, we're good on time. It depends on how much time that they have.
Right. But I have to ask this question, purpose. I mean, did you know that this was going to be your purpose? Did the Lord tell you, this is what you're going to do? Or did you find that out when you started making the money and when you got into the business? I'm going to tell you why. Donald knows me. I'm a very judgmental black man.
Black Republican is what he is.
I call myself a black Republican, but I call myself a Lincoln Party Republican. I'm a Lincoln Party Republican,
Black
right?
Republican.
I didn't vote for Trump, but I can understand where he's coming from. I don't agree with him, but I can understand some of the things. All right, now let me
I can hang up now if you want. If you want to end the call, man.
I'm very judgmental. I'm light-skinned. That's why I'm light-skinned. They used to call you names when they bullied you. They used to call me Mighty Boy because they knew that I would fight. They wouldn't want to call me Whitey Boy because they knew I was going to fight. So listen, purpose. The purpose of why you're doing it and what you're doing. And the reason I ask it like that is because, like I said, once again, I'm judgmental. And when I first saw your videos, right, the first thing I said is, why is this brother and this sister showing off their freaking cars day and night? What the F is going on here? This is whack. This is whack. I don't know about Brad. Right? Okay. So then I started really, really looking at the story. And even when you did say that we do it because we want other people to know that you can be an entrepreneur and do this, you don't have to be a rapper or a basketball player. And Donald knows I have a problem with rappers and basketball players. That's what they do. Basketball players. Right. I'm kicking it to you. I'm giving it to you.
Tell you what he calls our brothers playing basketball.
I do. I get so upset when they slam dunk the ball and shake their ass, but they're not doing nothing for anybody. That's just me. Just me. All right. So, so when I saw what you did and how you explained it, that still didn't set me say, "Oh, Brad is cool." What really made me say it, that you guys are doing it, is that I saw your work. Because God always talks about, look at the work. Look at what's going on. I saw the kids. I saw the business that you have, how you're helping out the community. And I said, okay, I'm going to let them rock with showing off their fly ass cars. I'm going to let them rock with that. I'm going to let them rock because you guys, so since little old me in New York City, single dad in New York City man, that's out here doing this thing, is going to let y'all rock. My question is purpose. Do you feel blessed that you have fallen in? I know you want more. You're going to get more. Everybody has a self-concept. Everybody wants to make it to that certain level and keep going. But do you think that the Lord has blessed you guys, that God has blessed you guys to fall, both of you, to fall from where you were, or elevate from where you were to where you are now? And is this your purpose, Brad? First, is this your purpose in life, Brad?
This is completely my purpose. The funny thing is, like, when it comes to just having a purpose in life in general, the thing is, you are elevating your own experience of who you naturally are, right? So I've always been like a natural, loving, giving person. I've always been a happy person. Like I'm smiling all the time because that's just who I am.
Yeah,
like on my videos, everything that I do, that's just me. It's just how I've always been. And so like as we continue to grow and become more successful, like we've been able to do more things to elevate who we naturally are. And I've been able to elevate like who I am because I love the fact that I can do more. I can help more people. I can give back to more people. As we've expanded, we've been able to create a lot more jobs. We've been able to create like a lot more a sense of being able to take care of those who've never had assistance before with all the clients we're helping. I love getting phone calls from all the families who we serve saying like, oh my gosh, like this changed my life. We've saved people from getting divorces. I'm talking about we had like, husbands and wives trying to kill each other because it's hard taking care of a kid with special needs, And if you can't go anywhere, if you can't leave the house and you have to be there with that child all the time, being able to have that 6 to 8 hours a day of reprieve is just like, it's the biggest weight that you could ever lift off of a parent's shoulder. And it's one of those blessings where you get to help these families be able to live a normal life. We've had family members who've never even gone to work before, like it's insane. Like they're like, now I can actually go to work and provide for my family and actually have a job versus like, relying on government assistance, So it's just so many things that have helped build out and help these families that it's just motivated us to be able to continue to do more and continue to just, feel grateful and feel blessed that we're in a position to do that, So I love it. Cause before I wasn't even on IG like that, to be honest. I wasn't even on IG until really like last year. Before that, the only time I posted is if we were traveling because we would just travel. Like we were gone 4 months out the year, like all the time. Like literally we checked up all the days. We were always gone 4 months out the year. So it was hard for people to like get in touch with us because we'd always be gone. Like as soon as we were on one flight in, we were on another flight out. And we would just enjoy our time travel because we could work overseas. Like we all we had to do was call in, check on the staff, or check in with family members. Like as long as our phone is with us, we have our laptop, we can do all that while we're overseas traveling. So we pretty much spent most of our time doing that. And then this last year when Corona hit, we were like, well, we got like a lot of friends who are in our new circle now who just all they do is IG. All they do is IG. And they're like, it is like, Brad Tronda, man, you need to be able to, show your lifestyle so at least people know that, like, there's successful people out here. And then, you be able to help them by motivating them and showing them what they need to do. And then, like, we do these give backs. You got to show that so people know that you got Black people out here who are, doing things for the community. Because there was a lot of things we did, we just never showed it. The only thing I was like, people just like seeing travel videos. So I just show travel. So then all my other friends like, no, you need to show everything, show other aspects. And so then we started doing that. So then that's when it started going to like showing our work, showing our give back, showing the cars. A lot of times, and especially in the Black community, it's kind of bad, but some people don't even really think that you got anything going on until they see their success. They won't really give you any gratification until they see it. So a lot of things with the cars, it's just like, people are like, oh, okay. I was like, okay, you got credibility now because you can afford a McLaren or you can afford a Rolls Royce.
It's not a rental. And it's not a rental.
Yeah, it's not a rental. Like those are real cars. Like you bought those cars, and then like, you bought yourself a mansion, whatever. Like, you guys did all that. And so they like, okay, they got the gratification. And they like that gratification. And then that gives you credibility to be able to just discuss whatever you want and start talking about the things that you want to help other people with. And then people like, they understand it. They've seen where you come from and they see to where you are now. And then it lets them like be able to understand that journey. And that allows them to kind of get a perspective of who you are. And then when you're helping other people, they kind of see that you're out there to do things for the community outside of just, what you've done for yourself.
What about Wifey's purpose? Wifey, she felt the purpose. She got the purpose.
So that's your purpose.
All this shade. Look, let me drop a shade right here from all this shade I keep getting from the right side of the car. Let me see. Shade. Yeah. That's my purpose. That's my purpose. Yeah, my
purpose, baby.
I always got a lot of purpose.
A lot of purpose.
You got a lot of purpose too.
I don't talk that long.
Yeah, you do. Give me your purpose.
What was that question again? Because I forgot.
What is your purpose? Do you think that you've fallen into your purpose? Is this your purpose?
Yes, absolutely, and it is. Simple as that. Okay, it's like one of these things where, we're able to kind of retire family members. That's something as a kid you never understood. I didn't even know we were retiring family members until we did it, and I was like, that's what that's called. When your family don't have to work no more, your mama don't have to work no more, your daddy don't have to work no more, and you just paying their mortgages off, and they just living. And didn't understand it. That's what retirement was. So I definitely,
and that's why I appreciate you saying about your past. I know Brad, I was looking at something where you had said that your mom said, nah, man, get a job. And you was like, no, Mom, I'm gonna do this. And then now you taking care of her. And she said, oh, well, maybe you were right about that. Maybe you were right. Maybe you were right about all this. Thank you so much. I love you, baby. That's what you said. Just like that. But it's a beautiful thing, man. I'm just so happy to have spoken to you guys today. I feel so influenced and so empowered, you know.
And you know, I have a couple of questions, black questions. I call them black questions because
he's a black guy. He's a blacker. He's a blacker than black dude.
To black
cultural conditioning.
We're all conditioned.
We are all conditioned. We are all conditioned. I consider you and your wife a power black couple, and I think that's extremely important when it comes down to role models for younger kids and the future generation. This may sound like a question that you guys already answered, but how important is it for you guys to give back, to make sure that the next generation or the people that you influence or inspire elevates themselves to the next level?
All right. So the thing for me, it's important to give back because it shows other people to do the same thing as they get older. Because a lot of people are influenced by what they see and what is around them and what they're exposed to. A lot of people aren't exposed to these things because when you're young and you're growing up, you see like rappers, you see athletes, you see all of them killing it, right? So that's why you say to yourself, that's what I want to be, right? But then I got kids sending me messages right now. It's like, man, I see you and your wife out there and y'all got these fly cars. Y'all are traveling the world. Y'all are shutting down Walmarts and Kroger's and giving to all these families. They're like, I want to do that. You know what I mean? And so it lets them know that there's other people who have normal businesses, normal everyday businesses that are extremely successful because they, in their mind, think that you have to be on TV or be a rapper or be an athlete to have that kind of financial success. Right, exactly. They feel like that's what you have to have that financial success. And we're showing them you don't need to do all that to accrue that financial success. You literally are just running a business, a normal everyday business that's extremely successful that grants you the freedom to be financially free, to be able to do what you want to do, to be able to travel the world, to be able to just not only live life the way you want to, but also to be able to give back and do the same thing. So when they become successful, like, okay, cool, I want to be able to give back. I want to be able to shut down a Kroger. I want to be able to shut down a Walmart. Because I mean, when we did that all over the country, we were getting responses from other people imitating us doing the exact same thing. And it started like a big wildfire of people trying to give back, which was awesome. It was incredible. So that let us know that showing video footage of that and putting it out there influenced other people to say, wow, that's crazy. Regular entrepreneurs doing that? I want to do the same thing.
Because even prior to that, I don't know if you guys on my IG, I was giving away $100 every 3 months, just to tell people to give me some things about positivities that are going on in their lives.
Right.
For people. So yeah, so she would do $1,000 giveaways. It wasn't every 3 months. She do it like every month. And then I was over here looking at all the statements. I'm like, she done gave another $1,000 on IG. They gave another $1,000 on IG. and she's just telling people just, you know, put in your stories, tell me like, you know, what's going on in your life, and then they would submit it to her.
I know COVID had people down, but the way we wanted giving back, you know, that's what I mean by support. Is he's like one of the most supportive individuals when it comes to anything that I've ever just wanted to do. And that whole point of giving back, like he talked when he said earlier how we on the same plane, that whole thing right there is like, I'll just say, babe, I'm trying to find a way to get some money back and bring some sunshine to people's lives, you know? And guess what?
And I'm like, here she go. I'm like, here she go. She's pulling it on out.
That's got, hey, you guys are a perfect example of God's grace, not what hard work does. I'm not saying God is some magic person that's just going to give you what you want, but what hard work and dedication to each other and love is patient and kind. That's what it says in the book, right? Love is patient, and it sounds like Brad is very patient and kind. It sounds like she's very patient and kind too. But
all day,
that God has blessed you guys, and you guys are a living example of God's grace and mercy on all of us. I'm not trying to make this. I'm not a preacher. I'm not trying to make this a religious thing, but I gotta let y'all rock and show it off your stuff now. Now I gotta let y'all rock. I gotta let y'all rock. I gotta watch it. Now I gotta subscribe. Now I gotta subscribe to you guys. You know, I know y'all, but I wasn't subscribing. I
Look,
love you guys.
This
This is such a blessing. I love you.
Look, Martin's like, man, these folks out here flexing. Look at these flexy ass
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Out here over here flexing. You talking about how nice your cone is. Huh? How nice that pink look. Over here flexing. What else you got going on outside of that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, what's going on out here?
Hit him with the flex. Hit him with the flex. Hit him with the flex.
He's the person behind all of the way the cars look.
I'm sorry. I've loved cars ever since I was a kid, right?
I love them.
So one thing is like when I was in elementary school, I literally was like, okay, look, I wanted McLaren when I was in elementary school. I wrote it on the calendar. My brother said he wanted a Lamborghini. We wrote it on the calendar. This is elementary school. He said, look, when we get successful, you grow up, you're getting a Lamborghini, I'm getting a McLaren. When it happened, I was like, look, it's here. The day has come. And you know, as a child, to say that you've achieved your childhood dream, it's nothing like it. You know? Yeah, I know, but for us and stuff, we were like, this is what we wanted. And not even necessarily say it had to be a dream, but it's just that at that age, we looked on the calendar, we marked it and said, I'm getting this one. Just said, I'm getting this one. And we got it. And we got it.
I was talking about how fancy the cars were.
I know, but I'm saying I had to customize them. I gotta customize it.
He said, woo!
Man, every single car I've ever had, I've customized. So I'm just like, it was no different. When you got the Rolls, it was no different. When I got the McLaren, it was no different. I was like, hey, we gotta hook them up.
A long way from the Honda Prelude.
You sure did.
And you guys deserve it. You guys deserve it. You guys deserve it.
Let me tell you something. There were so many times I had to come pick her up off the highway from her car breaking down. It was so many different times. Crazy.
$100,000 vehicles get you, bro.
Yeah, remember, way before Uber. Before Uber ever existed, I was picking this woman off the side of the freeway from all these damn breakdowns. Like, oh, baby, it happened again. I got you, baby. I got you. Come over there, drive to the freeway, and pick her on up, and then call our mechanic. Hey, it happened again. You ready to go ahead and come tow this bad boy? Let's come get it. I'm like, is she down again? You know, but it's cool though.
Long way.
And even though we went through all those, no matter what crazy situation we went through, we always still went through them with smiles on our faces. I cannot lie. Like seriously, like a lot of people was like, how y'all? They never even knew. A lot of things we went through, people didn't even know. Like they would still think we have the same energy now that we had back then. You know, our friends didn't know because I mean, we never talked about it, but we still kept the same energy because we knew that like we were going to overcome it. You're only going through like when you go through life, you go through moments, and that's a moment, and that's all you let it be is just a moment.
It's temporary
because it's temporary.
Well,
but it's not going to define what your life has to be.
It's totally different. But what is your biggest fear? I ask everyone that comes on the show, what is your biggest fear?
And that's the thing. I don't see it. Maybe we just don't see fear differently, huh? Because I don't.
I mean, hell, if we lost everything today, we'd be like, oh well, we got.
Let me tell you something. We failed. We failed 3 times. We failed in business 3 times.
I mean,
so the thing is, every single time we failed, we just bounced back up and did it again. We still became successful every single time. So for us, I mean, I've never.
It's like each time it been lower. It was here. It was there. And then it's way up here now. It's like we keep climbing that ladder. But yeah, I don't have a fear.
We've never had fear. I can't lie. Like I've never been scared of anything as far as like.
I mean, except when they came out of us. Now I ain't scared of them no more. So now I don't have no more fear. So I ain't scared of them.
You know what's funny? I wasn't even scared of them. I was just like, we just got to go through it.
Dealing with them,
I was dealing with them too. What you talking about?
You was not dealing.
Man, they came back in that room so many times. They're like, hey, look at this, 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 look at this.
Yeah.
So you scared?
Talking to me, Bradford.
So maybe the only fear that we probably had to be relative to any time we had to have an audit. That's it. But even then, it wasn't scary.
It wasn't scary. I said back then, but no fear. I got no fear now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm no fear of any really.
Okay, all right. So Paranormal Activity, I was fearful of that shit.
Okay.
That damn movie, I'm like, boy, them damn scary movies. I'm like, man, that's where my fear come in. That's pretty much about it. Like, if I watch a scary ass movie, I'm like, hey, right. When it comes to life, I'm not.
So many people have fears to start a business or just have fears to be successful, and that's why I asked that question. But
yeah,
because no, you don't get none of that over here.
Fear, you need to basically when you got that kind of fear, you need to face it straight on. Because what you're telling yourself then is the fact, okay, here you are, fear, here I am. So let me figure this out. If I can get through this, that means you're already, what's the word you say, committed?
Mm-hmm.
You committed now.
Mm-hmm.
We're in it. We rolling in the business now. Now you run through it. I done seen the face of fear in regards to me studying or starting this business. What else do you have for me?
Right. And you still know that, and y'all know the definition for fear, right?
False
no, give me the definition.
False evidence appearing real. Yeah, a lot of people just think that, okay, well, it's going to be this way because they put some evidence in their head that they think that it's going to be something that's going to be their reality, but it's not. Like, you determine your own reality. Yep. And the thing is, one thing you can control, you can't control outside factors, right? But what you can control is how hard you work. You can control how hard you work no matter what. Like, you can literally put in all the work that you want into building like something that is full of your passions, full of all your essence, everything that you dedicated to it. Like, it's going to show, it's going to reflect in that. And so if you have that and you know that you're killing it and you're putting in all this dedication into it, it's going to be successful.
And
but you just
and it happens to be, if you fail, it's okay too. Accept and move on.
Mm-hmm.
Let that happen.
Amen.
Let it be known that it's okay. It's okay, because we failed to several times, but it wasn't necessarily like
failure puts you back. It just puts you back into another perspective. Okay, like, how do I need to readjust? And then, like, how do I need to redirect myself towards something that's going to work?
They say failure is the womb of success. That's what they say.
It is, because if we didn't fail as many times as we have, we wouldn't be as successful as we are now. Not even close. Because you have to go through those failures to be able to teach you how to succeed. Like, a lot of people, if you've always been top dog and stuff, man, and you get knocked on your ass and you never know what it felt like to get pushed down, and then all of a sudden you just can't recover from that, then it's one of those situations where it's like, you never went through the failure, so you didn't know how to get through it.
We go talk about chasing them dreams. Everybody talking about chase your dream. Why come you got to chase your dream? Why you just can't dream your dream and be in your dream? Why come you just can't let your dream come to you? Yep. Why come? Yep. I mean, why can't you? Yep. Why can't you just sit still, study what it is you're studying, understand what it is you're doing, be better at it, and then you go out there and you don't have to necessarily chase it anymore because it's not running from you. You understand it. It's going to automatically come to you. It's going to come right back to you because it wants to be with you. Your dream wants to be what your reality is. It's that evidence that you're talking about, the fear of something. No, it is your understanding of what it is. Like, I am in my dream right now. I'm living my life right now. And there is need. I have not chased one thing. I don't ever think that I don't feel as though I've ever chased anything when it came to that. Anything.
You chased me down.
I didn't chase your ass.
You chased my ass down. A year later, you said, "Hey, that smooth chocolate ball-headed milk dud over there that I, passed up on that one situation."
What I said was.
What'd you say?
I said,
let me drop the shade down real quick before you start. Drop the shade down real quick.
Oh God!
As a couple doing business, were y'all always on the same page when it comes down to the business? Did y'all both say, you know what, this is the right thing? And was there ever a time that one was like, nah, this is not going to work, and you basically had to convince the other one, no, this is what we should do?
That's why we failed together.
Hey, this is crazy. We have not butted heads on anything. Like, literally, and it's crazy.
She said that's why we failed together.
Yeah. A lot of people have a hard time working with a significant other and whatnot, but for us, I mean, we don't really disagree on anything when it comes to business. Actually, it's shit, hell. Now that I think about it, now that you asked that question, like, literally, we haven't disagreed on anything. In business, we've been on the exact same page for this past 12 years. We've been on the exact same page. We have not had an argument or disagreement on anything when it comes to business.
Wow.
It's like when we would work together, like, there was times when he would take on a whole lot of things. Again, and it's naturally because he's the man, and Brad, he always try to, make sure I'm good. And the thing is, I had to come back and take some things from him to make it work. But we settle into our positions, and we're okay with one person taking this one and another person taking that, or what works for us as a team. So we really.
You're going to start a whole new conversation about relationships and infidelity. You're going to start a whole new position, submission. Oh Lord, you're going to start some stuff. You want to be on here for 3 hours? Do you want to be on here for 3 hours and sitting in that car? You in the Lambo or you McLaren? Let me tell you if you're comfortable. Please. Well, you got to.
I know. Look, we're in the rental right now.
But what you said, that question, Donald, was such a good question because you're right. Everyone has to take their role in the relationship, whether you be married or not, and especially in a marriage. Somebody the man has to submit to the woman has to submit to the man in some form. And a lot of marriages, if they understand that, and I'm not going off record.
No,
but you guys started it. You guys started it. But but that's another lesson that people need to understand. That's how marriages and business work. Everybody has to play their part and play their role and be submissive in some form, whatever you guys agree with. But anyway, that's off this topic.
Yeah, that's going to open up a whole nother segue because that's one of the topics that we're going to discuss on another podcast.
Yeah, because we got some personal stuff in our lives. I'm divorced, married years, I got 3 kids, raising them by myself. I wish my wife would have submitted.
Hey, we might be on that podcast with y'all though.
Oh yeah,
I know you were telling me about that couples one. I was like, shit, we gotta talk about that. That's gonna be a fun one, right?
Yeah. You know,
he's my best friend though. You know, it's like I'm working with my best friend, my homie. Like for real, I'll be like,
I'm gonna start crying up here right now.
I'll be like,
oh, you're my best friend too, baby. Shade. Drop down.
I mean, look, it's so bad. I'll be like, bro, what's up, bro? So you don't get tired of me saying that? He'd be like, no, baby, I don't.
And you know, it's funny, like a lot of people see us as the perfect couple, we're not. You know what I mean? We still have our issues, we still go through things, you know, but it's just it's quick.
It's very
it's quick. It's just like we just deal with it real quick, squash it. It doesn't last more than like, you know what, 10-15 minutes. Is that
depends on you though.
Yeah, sometimes I can get in my feelings.
It don't be me.
I be like, she be like, come give me a hug and kiss, baby. I'm like,
no.
I want no hug and kiss right now. Like, you know, I don't want no hug and kiss right now. It's like, come on, baby, give me a hug and kiss. I'm like, I'm good. I'll make a squirm for about 15 minutes. Yeah, then I'm like, okay, I'll give you a hug and kiss now. I'll give you a hug and kiss.
I sit in mine when I tell you that I do not allow it. Like, I don't like to be mad, angry, and all that stuff forever. I'm quick to be like, and I can see him mad or something, and I'll be like, give me a kiss. Come and give me a kiss, baby. Like, no, I don't want to kiss you right now. I don't want to kiss you.
Right now.
Do y'all ever feel any pressure as Black people? Do you ever feel any pressure being business owners? Do you ever feel intimidated at all? You know, because this culturally conditioned, I feel that a lot of Black people, we have PTSD from past things, right? And I also feel that there are certain, not just insecurities, but certain fears that we have and baggage that we carry when it comes down to being Black and dealing with societal norms and conditions. Do y'all ever feel any pressure at all as a power Black couple in your business?
I don't even see us being all that at times. Just regular people.
Yeah. Well, as far as pressure, I've never felt any pressure.
That's what I'm saying.
Like I've never felt, because, you know, I guess we don't look at it from a standpoint of like, you know, other people looking at what we're doing. We
don't look at it like that.
We just we're just doing what we can to the best of our own ability. So when we're doing business, we're just trying to be as successful as we can for each other. Like we look at each other like, look, hey, let's go ahead and do this, or let's put this into place, or let's do this, and then, you know, we're just growing. And I know, like, for the theme of this business, like, once we started it and the lady told us, okay, like, you guys will be all right. You'll be able to get like a few clients, and you'll be comfortable. We look at each other, it's like, man, this lady don't know who we are.
They don't know.
We're gonna destroy this business. We're gonna kill it because we just know that, like, we're just incredibly good at what we do. And so, and it's just have that confidence. Like, we're so confident in what we do, we just know we can grow a business and be successful with it. And so,
one thing about it is, like, as a Black person, it's like we never even looked at the fact that I don't even think about it.
I never looked at my color.
I'm Black.
I never thought about my skin or my color or whatever.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's one thing, like, as individuals, what they need to do is shake the fact that you are not who they say you are. You are, meaning, like, you who you want to be. If you say you are wealthy, successful, loved, whatever that is who you are. That is the development. That is the growth. That is the healing that you need to put into your word and your life. You need to understand who you are first before you even start really encountering or even taking on anybody else's opinion about who you are. Period. When you start doing that, you be so it just elevates.
It elevates to a whole nother level.
Totally different conversation. I don't care what you have to say about me because I know who I am. You know, your conversation don't matter to me. But you try to tell me in the history book, okay, yeah, that happened. Yeah, it did. But what they got to do with me right now? Nothing. Your words, the information that's been passed along. And I think a lot of times, a lot of the history that people give us is to keep us here, to keep us at a platform of not allowing us to have the unlimited thought that we could possibly have. If they taught us in school to the fact that we are limitless in individuals, we're limited individuals in general, that we have unlimited capability to have the abundance, prosperity. And now, you know how many rich people we have in this world? But instead, they teach us history about you white, I'm black, you're this or that, instead of embedding within us, and that's what we need to do to our kids, is that we need to embed within them the things that we were never given, not a history, but we were given the present moments of our lives, what we want them to become. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what they need to understand.
It makes sense.
Know?
It definitely makes
sense.
And
I'll tell you what, we've never cared about it. No. Let me tell you something. We got probably about 25, 27, 28 no's.
We say, we gonna first started.
I was like, I don't care how many people say no. We gonna keep on getting until we get a yes. We gonna keep going until we get that yes. We always get what we want. Always get what we want. Always get what we want. We were like, I don't give a damn. I'm like, shoot, we gonna make this. We gonna make this work. Mm-hmm. So
when y'all wake up in the morning, what is the first thing that y'all do when you get out of bed?
That's funny. Like this right here is this right here is the first question.
We wake up in the morning and we read affirmations.
Every single morning we read an affirmation book.
That's the whole point of growth. That's the whole point of healing yourself every day. Even no matter what nobody tell you, but I'm really good by not cursing today. I have a very bad.
No, you're on the podcast. You can curse.
It's a podcast. You can curse.
Right. When you open that affirmation church, we won't put it out there like that. We won't. When you open your church, because T, you preaching over there, young lady.
Get your ass into the thought of your understanding, meaning like who you're trying to be. That's every morning you wake up. You need to be affirming what you not just talking about. I am joy. No, you need to get deep into it. What else are you outside of joy? That's how every day should be. You should be acknowledging or have some kind of word preparation in regards to who you're trying to do, what you're trying to do today, what you're becoming today.
Wait, say that again. What are you? Say that again. What are you on your side of joy? Is that what you said?
Outside of joy. Who are you outside of joy? Who are you outside of? Because a lot of times people do affirmation. I am joyful. I am successful. I am this. I am that. What else are you? Meaning like if you're more than just that. I am a beautiful individual, and I'm going to have the most beautiful and blessed, abundant day. There's more to it.
Right.
Adding more to the conversation. That's all.
And is that something that you would write down before, like say the night before, and in the morning you would say that affirmation, or is it something that you kind of have a notes jotted down and you repeat it? It's repetitive every single morning.
She's about to come out with a book, man.
That's what I do. I already got the book.
Oh,
the book dropped already. Yeah, the book dropped already.
I gotta tell us about the book. We need to.
Is it on the Amazon yet? Is it bestseller? New York Times bestseller?
I'm trying to see if somebody gonna help me get there. More than likely,
Put it out there. New York Times bestseller. We're putting it out there right now.
What's the name of the
book? I was in Atlanta, man. We got like a launch on coming up like another week for her doing like her book launch too. So it's gonna be cool. But it's like as affirmations written for you by you.
Yeah.
So as you creating your own information, your own affirmations for yourself, to be able to read daily, and you're putting it in a journal where you can actually continue to affirm the things that you want to change and influence in your life.
Right. And most of the time you're doing them at nighttime, like you asked the question. I want you. The way I would prefer someone to do it until they got adjusted to it is do it every night. You write up something different for yourself for you to read the next day. The affirmations that me and Brad read, this comes from a book, 365 Days Science of Mind. And basically it's the science of mind. It's not necessarily based off religion. It's based about the creative thought, the word, the spirit, limitless, universe, the whole nine. So it could be something written from Buddha. It could be something written from whatever
Islam,
the book is.
anything.
Yeah.
Quran, anything.
And so we read that. He also reads, or we read together another affirmation that I write once a year. I write a different one every year. I write one up and he reads that. We read that one together every morning. And I have one I've been reading for about 15 years about my health and just in general, you know.
Right.
What is that? Can you give me the name of the book that you've been reading for 15 years, if you don't mind?
It's actually an affirmation I read every.
So she wrote it. She had like a specific one that she wrote 15 years ago.
No, this was
Are you talking about the one that you pulled out the page?
That's in the back cave, Donald. That's in the back cave.
That's the one you pulled out the page.
Man.
But the one
that's
we've been reading
that's
for
in the back
12
cave.
years.
You ain't gonna know that one. That's the secret one, man.
For the past 12 years, 365 Science of Mind is awesome.
365 Science of Mind.
Yeah,
and it literally every single day you read the affirmation.
And it's alone. It's not just affirmations. It's healing. Like it's preparation to your life. Like it gives you like today's. It's the acceptance of the affirmation. Like it's like you affirming your world for what it is, and then accept it. That's what today's was about. It was about it, and it's not. It's just so many ways to look at it, and it's like this book basically gives you like paragraphs. You have a whole paragraph of just things that will help you grow into your true self. Basically, it's like you're growing into the person that you're meant to be. Your energy. So it helps you flow throughout the day. That book is really good. This is written by Ernest Holmes.
That book is awesome. You read that for a long time now, at least 12 years.
All right. Yeah, you're giving us a lot of information today.
Yeah, I yeah, you know, I'm asking these questions not just for the people who listen to the podcast, but also for myself and for us and what it is that we're working on. You know, because first of all, this is a blessing for you all to take your time and God, thank you
so much
following up and coming.
Most definitely
sticking to your word, because not only does this help us, but it also helps others. And I pray that people, you know, listen to the podcast and that we can continue to do things to help inspire, influence, and educate people every single day.
Word.
And our interview started kind of informal, but it's all good because
that's how we do our thing, though. D.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I was supposed to be on me. I should be out the car right now.
I know you said because you keep you go on to the submission, and then you telling me about the Lord, and then you're telling me about this. And I'm sitting here, listen, you can't go nowhere if you're gonna start a church, and you got an affirmation, you got a book out, your husband's doing the climbing up the walls and running around.